Hey guys, I'm meteorologist Christine Gormley, and happy Wednesday. I hope all of you guys had a wonderful Christmas. But today we're going to talk about more rain for the East Coast today as that low pressure system continues to move off to the east, and snow also with that will linger today for the northern states and the northern plains and the Midwest. And we'll talk about New Year's and the New Year's outlook. I'll also talk about the West Coast as well because they're experiencing some precip today as well. There's another low pressure system impacting the West Coast, and I'll get into those details. First things first, our year-end sale ends December 31st, so take advantage of that while you still can. You only have a few days left out of the year to get this sale. So you can call us at that number on your screen, or you can scan that QR code and you can get that deal. So going into the forecast today, or going into the current conditions right now on the West Coast, in Northern California and in Oregon and Washington, a low pressure system is starting to make its way into that area, and there's some warnings out that I'll also get into here in a minute. But some heavy rain, pockets of heavy rain in some places. There's even some winter weather, winter storm advisories for the mountain, the areas in the mountains up there, and some flood alerts also for the coastlines as well. So some rain over there and some high winds. And then moving off to the East Coast, we have a low pressure system slowly making its way to the East Coast. That's why a lot of us here in the Southern Plains are a lot colder today because of this low pressure system. It's just spiraling around and moving off to the East Coast. There's some pockets of heavy rain and some pockets of heavy rain in this right now, and even some snow. Maybe not touching the ground right now, but maybe some snow in the upper levels in Nebraska and South Dakota. But temperatures right now across the region are in the 30s and 40s, 38 degrees in Oklahoma City, 50s. And on the East Coast, it's not cold enough for snow over there, so they're getting rain, and it's in the 30s around where you can see the center of that low in Missouri. It's 34 degrees, and then it's in the 30s up in the mountains in the northwest. So here's what that looks like, these two low pressure systems. Here's what they look like on water vapor imagery. So you can see that the East Coast one is spiraling, and it's a really big storm. It's one of the biggest ones, at least impacting a majority of the continental U.S. right now. And you can see that steady rate of northwesterly and northerly winds heading into the central plains and northern plains, and that's where that cold air is just really streaming down from this. In Oklahoma City, Dallas, we're in the 30s and 40s in the southern plains. Denver also getting some of that, also some snow as well from this, and it's moving off to the east, and so we've gotten some pretty colder, much colder temperatures than what we've been experiencing, but not anything like what we've seen in the past. There's no Arctic air with this. It's just a cold front, just some cooler air, nothing too crazy going on with the storm system as far as temperatures go. I know last night there were some blizzard warnings in the Nebraska area, in the Rapid City area, up in the northern plains, but all of that is starting to kind of dwindle down today. But there is a flood watch out, or a flood watch is going into effect this afternoon and this evening for the state of New Jersey. There will be some heavy pockets of heavy rain with this system on the East Coast, and you can see those little sprinkles of green. Those are flood warnings for coastal areas along the rivers and lakes and stuff like that over on the East Coast. Winter weather advisory is in effect for parts of Nebraska, and there is a coastal flood warning for some of the rivers in North Dakota and Minnesota. because of the rain that they're experiencing up there. It's not even snow. Some of it's even been rain in the last couple of days. But going off to the West Coast now, there are some winter weather advisories up in the mountains in Northern California, high wind warning, and some coastal flood warnings as well. And there's other marine warnings that you can't see on this map, but definitely something to be aware of if you're in that area. So in the last 24 hours, rainfall, here's our rainfall outlook of what we've seen in the last 24 hours. 0.42 inches in St. Louis, 0.13 in Springfield, Illinois, and 0.18 in Springfield, Missouri. And then up in the Minnesota area, in Virginia, Minnesota, 0.38 inches, Duluth, 0.22, and Fargo, 0.38. But where you really see the heavy pockets of rain and really the flooding and the bulk of the rain that's come out of this system is on the East Coast. And that's what you're seeing here, 1.15 inches in Riley, and Blackstone, 1.65 inches. So you can see that red and purple streak. That's where you can really see bullseyes of maybe even up to 2 inches in that area. So 0.77 for Charlotte. And this goes all the way up to New York, Cleveland, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, 0.42 inches in Warren, 0.32 inches in Harrisburg, and they're going to get more rain today as this system begins to move more off to the East Coast and eventually exit the CONUS. But also we've seen more snowfall in the last 24 hours, bullseyes of 10 to 12 inches up in Rapid City. That's where blizzard conditions and blizzard warnings were last night around that area. And today you might see 2 to 4 inches more, maybe even not that much, maybe just 2 inches depending on where you are, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But even in the Northwest, also 2 to 4 inches in some places, maybe even more than that for the last 24 hours. So looking at the jet stream, we're going to go into the future now. So you can see over St. Louis, Missouri, that's the center of that low pressure system. It's going to start to continue to move off to the east, produce more rain for the East Coast, and then Saturday, for the day before New Year's Eve, another low pressure system starts to Saturday night, I should say, another low pressure system starts to move into the northwest, or northeast, I should say, and really cool things off for the northeast. And then as that moves through Sunday night into Monday, cooler temperatures, a cold front. It's going to be a dry cold front for the central and southern plains, but another cold front is going to move into the central and southern plains. But for the weekend, for your New Year's weekend, it's looking dry for the most part and sunny and warmer for some people, especially down south. It's going to be warmer south of Oklahoma City. It's going to be much warmer than it is now, and maybe even in between the 50s and 40s in Oklahoma City, and into the northern plains, 40s. And going into Monday and Tuesday, there's a chance for some rain in the southeast portions of the United States as that subtropical jet merges with that polar jet. You can get some more instability and more dynamics to really help initiate some lift and get us maybe some storms, but most likely it'll just be some rain, if that, going into next week. And then that ridge starts to build in between systems, and it'll start to warm back up again. So here's that future radar for today. I have a national future radar for you guys so you can see both systems at play here. In the northeast, some snow, some rain really starts to move out. It's going to start drying out tomorrow for the most part on the East Coast, West Coast, and California. It'll be off and on precip for the rest of this week and starting the weekend, but that will really start to slow down as well going into the next couple of days. But for the middle part of the state, I should say country, for the middle part of the country and for most people, it'll start drying out as we get into New Year's, and you won't have too many struggles with the weather for New Year's. So here's a zoomed in look of what's going on in the East Coast this evening. New Jersey and parts of New York definitely have a chance to get the bulk of that rain this afternoon and this evening. And you can see there even is some snow possible, still some snow possible for the northern plains, even parts of northwestern Oklahoma possible into tomorrow, into your Thursday, if that snow can really get further south and we can cool off in northwestern Oklahoma as that just steady northwesterly cold air just starts to really wrap around as this system moves off to the east. It'll be cooler for the next couple of days for those of us in the plains. So here's the future wind gusts with this today. You could get some winds up to 20, 30 miles per hour, possible wind gusts this afternoon and this evening as these maybe some heavy rain and some heavy pockets of rain start to impact the area, especially in New Jersey and parts of the coastal states. So the snow accumulation, maybe 1 to 2, maybe bullseyes of 3 to 4 inches for the next couple of days as the system moves through. This is by Saturday afternoon. But next 72-hour rainfall totals will be mostly for Boston, New York, Atlantic City, 1.83 inches for Boston, 1.8 for Concordville, Manchester, 1.04. So there are going to be some pockets of heavy rain in that area. So future temperatures that are going to be in the 30s and 40s for the next several days. For Texas, it does show maybe temperatures in the 40s this weekend for highs, but this is just one particular data set, and other data sets suggest there be between 50 60 degrees for Dallas, for parts of for the northern Texas this weekend for New Year's. So it does look cooler on this map, but temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 50s this weekend. But we do have that steady northerly wind right now that's kind of dominating the plains right now for the next couple of days, and that's why we're cooler. We're going to sit in the 30s and 20s going into the next couple of days for people up north. So future wind chills up north, it'll be in the 20s and 30s, and then 50s down south. Of course, there won't be much of a wind chill the further south you go here in the next couple of days. But temperatures are have been looking warmer. And here's our freeze tracker. We could see some freezing, obviously below freezing temperatures as this cold front persists in Oklahoma and parts of Kansas, of course, and even some temperatures in the 40s for North Texas going into the weekend. But we're going to dry out after this system moves off to the east by Friday, and for the most part, the country should be dry going into this weekend and gorgeous for the south. So that's all I have for you guys today. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can scan that QR code to follow us and contact us. You can also call us at 855-334-4245, email us at info@hailtrace.com, or go to hailtrace.com. That's it for you guys. If you want to look at our sponsors in our description, you can do that. And yeah, hope you guys have a good day.